Hi guys, don't you just love that card? So we're going to make that card today. It's a very simple card. We will be using the Meant to Be Cling Stamp Set, and we will be using the Be Mine Stitched Framelit dies. And if you bundle this with the stamp set, you will save 10%. We also will be using the new stitched shape rectangles. We're going to be using the 5th smallest one. So I always count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to use this size today. So for our paper, you will need a piece of watercolor. This was cut out of the 5th smallest stitch shape framelit. You're going to need a piece of the Designer Series paper, All My Love. And this piece here was cut 5 1/4 by 4, so I'm using this side. You will need a piece of Real Red. This one measures 2 7/8 by 4 1/4, and then you're going to need another scrap piece. I've already cut my hearts out here, and you're just going to run your Real Red through your Big Shot using this die. And what I did was I used my adhesive sheets, and it just makes it easier because it's such a tiny outline of hearts to glue. And then you're going to poke out all your hearts, and you're going to save all these hearts because you're going to use them on this project. You're also going to need 2 pieces of Pool Party. One is your A2 card base, so that is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, fold at 4 1/4. And then this piece of Pool Party will be 3 by 4 1/2. So you will need for your ink, you're going to need Memento Tuxedo Black. And then I am bringing in my re-inkers. You can do this with your ink pads if you have, if you don't have the re-inkers. I'm bringing in a block. Your colors for your re-inkers will be Pool Party, Coastal Cabana, and Bermuda Bay. So what you're going to do is just take your block and you're going to put a couple of drops, a drop or 2. You don't need a lot of each color. And you want to keep them separate. You don't want to mix them together. So you're going to bring in a scrap piece of paper and your watercolor. Now I'm not going to wet my watercolor paper first. I'm going to go in and I'm just going to drop a couple of drops of water in my re-inker. And I'm going to mix that up, and then I'm just going to kind of start at one end, and then I'll move on to my next one. And again, a couple of drops of water, and then I'm doing it at an angle. You can do it straight across, you know, whichever design you want to do. So again, a couple of drops of water, kind of mix it up, kind of dilute it. And you can go, you know, as dark as you want to or as light. So then what I'll do is I'll just come back into my first color, pick some up, and start the process all over again. And then once you do your layer, if you want to go back in and make it a little darker, you can do that. Once you have your colors all down, you're going to have to let this dry. And it doesn't take long to dry. You can even put your heat gun to it if you want it to dry sooner. So we're just going to set this aside, let it dry. You're going to bring in your piece of Real Red. And in your die set, there's this long scalloped piece here. So you're going to run it along the edge of the 4 1/4 side. So when I run it through the Big Shot, I just want to show you, I left just a little bit of the red on the top, so it'll cut, and make sure it's straight when you cut it or else your line's going to be crooked. So when you run it through the Big Shot, it will leave this nice pretty scalloped edge with that stitching in there. So we're going to set that aside. And then we're going to bring in our card base, and we're going to start to assemble our card. So just take your bone folder, give it a good crease here, and then we're going to layer our designer series paper down. I'm going to use Fast Fuse. You can use whatever kind of adhesive you have on hand. Then you're going to bring in your piece of Real Red in your Pool Party, and you're going to layer these on top of each other. So again, any kind of adhesive you have on hand. This is going to get layered right on top of here. And then your watercolor should be nice and dry now, which it is. And then you're going to go ahead and bring in your hearts that are cut out. Now, I left them in here to show you. These are real easy. Just poke these out. And if you don't have the adhesive sheets, you know, then you're going to have to glue these on individually. It's really so much simpler with the adhesive sheets that you can back this with. What you do is just take your Pick a tool or your paper piercer and poke out one of them, and you should be able to pull this right out. And then there's little pieces here that you can just poke out. So then this piece is going to lay right here. You want to make sure you give yourself enough room down here to stamp. You're just going to stamp out the "You Make Me Happy" on here. So with the adhesive sheets, if you use the adhesive sheets, you can just peel this backing off, and then your adhesive is already here. Now I used a couple of pieces, little pieces that I had, so that's why mine is coming off in pieces. But if you use one solid strip, when you pull this off, one strip of the backing should come right off. Those adhesive sheets are awesome for your little tiny stuff like this right here, where it would just take forever to put your glue on. So you're just going to glue these down. And what you're going to do is take all your little heart pieces, and you're going to just kind of use them as little embellishments here. Just make sure you leave space right here for your stamp. So I'm just going to add some inside, and I'm going to add some outside and on the bottom. So once you have it embellished the way you want it, then you're just going to bring in your Memento ink. I'm going to stamp out "You Make Me Happy." And just be careful when you stamp this, because this ink takes a little bit to dry because it's on the water paper. So you may want to hit that with your heat gun before you apply it to the front of your card. So then you're just going to go ahead and stick this to the front of your card. I do recommend a strong adhesive because it is thicker and it's watercolor paper. And then you're just going to center this around your red. And that's it to that card. Isn't that just so cute? So then on the inside of your card, you could put a piece of Whisper White if you wanted to, but it's light enough. You could take some of your hearts that you have left over and just glue them on the inside. So I hope you guys like this card. So right now is occasion Sale-a-bration time, running through March 31st. For every $50 you spend, you do get to pick out a free product. If you spend $100, there are some products that you can get for free with a $100 purchase. And there are no limits to the amount of free products that you can earn. I will leave all that information in the link of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe below, and don't forget to ring that bell. I also offer a newsletter that I would love for you to sign up for. You will get 30 free card ideas just for signing up. Thanks for watching.